The name I chose for today is one of the most important names in my estimation, my humble estimation. And I will point out the names that I think are extremely important throughout the month as I go along. I think this is an extremely important name for a variety of reasons. The name I chose for today is Ismullah Ar-Razzaq. Ismullah Ar-Razzaq. The provider, or the one who provides for his creations. Now in the Quran, Ismullah Ar-Razzaq, in that form, in that wording, comes only once. Where does it come? It's only once. فسورة الذاريات إن الله هو الرزاق ذو القوة المتين. And of course the situation of that ayah there is extremely important as well. We may have time to talk about it, we may not. In other forms, Ar-Razzaq, and to be more specific, Khayrul Raziqeen, there's 5 other times in the Quran. Khayrul Raziqeen, the best of providers, it's 5 other times. Actual verb of rizq is over 150 times in the Quran. Spread all over the Mus'haf. You can't miss it. Ismullah Ar-Razzaq is the umbrella name or the large name that under it falls a number of other names. So, and these are the names of provision. So Ismullah Ar-Razzaq, and attached to it Ismullah Ar-Raziq, and attached to that Ismullah Al-Fattah. We talked about that before. Ismullah Al-Wahhab, which we inshallah will talk about in the month. And then Ismullah Al-Ghani, Wal-Mughni, Wal-Muqit. We may not have time to talk about those ones, but they all fall under the same umbrella of Ismullah Ar-Razzaq, the provider. What's the difference between Ar-Razzaq and Ar-Razzaq, if there is a difference? Ar-Razzaq is the one who provides for all, in different proportions all the time. Ar-Razzaq doesn't necessarily mean that. He can provide once maybe, not all the time. Maybe others provide with him. The concept of Razzaq is different. Razzaq means he's the only one who provides, and he provides for all. And what does the word rizq in the Arabic language actually mean? When you open a dictionary, it's called مَا يَجْلِبُ الْمَنْفَعَةِ مَا يَجْلِبُ الْمَنْفَعَةِ. Anything that is of benefit. Anything that is of benefit is called rizq. So everything that you are given in this life is rizq. I know that we use it for money all the time, or wealth, that's how we look at it, but everything that you have right now is rizq. Your height, your weight, your facial features, the color of your eyes, your mental abilities, the parents whom you were raised by, the house you grew up in, the place that you lived in, the people that you know, the amount of knowledge that you contain right now, the abilities and skills that you have right now, all that is rizq. All of it. Everything that you have is rizq. Everything that is coming your way. What's the difference between rizq and ni'mah then? What's the difference between rizq and then ni'mah or blessing? It's just the perspective. That's all it is. It's just your perspective. It's rizq until you see it as a blessing, it turns into a ni'mah. But until you do, it's rizq. So ni'mah is a word, a phrase that is based on you. It's based on how you saw it, or how you dealt with it, to be more specific. Because sometimes Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can give you a lot of money, a lot of wealth. One day you run into a lot of money, and is that ni'mah? Well, it depends. How did you spend it? So ni'mah is a term specific to your perspective and to your actions. However, rizq is everything that comes your way. Everything that comes your way. Give examples from the Quran. يقول سبحانه وتعالى وما من دابة في الأرض إلا على الله رزقها. And there's no creation, no living thing on the planet except upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala its provision. Upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is something that He did not burden others with. It is upon Him subhanahu wa ta'ala to figure out the provision method for every living thing on this planet. Illa ala Allah. It's upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is a very specific usage of the preposition. Ala Allah. Something is ala Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this made its way into our common slang language. Ala Allah. Rizq ala Allah. Right? Ibrahim alayhi salam, when he was making his dua, he said, وَإِذْ قَالَ إِبْرَاهِيمُ رَبِّي اجْعَلْ هَذَا بَلَدًا آمِنًا. He said, Ya Rabb, make this a safe country. And then he said, وَارْزُقَ أَهْلَهُ مِنَ الثَّمَرَاتِ مَنْ آمَنَ مِنْهُمْ بِاللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ. And provide with fruit and wealth those of them who believe in you and the final day. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala answered Ibrahim, قَالَ وَمَنْ كَفَرْ, and those who don't as well. قَالَ وَمَنْ كَفَرْ, I will provide for those who don't. Why are you asking me to provide only for those who believe? قَالَ وَمَنْ كَفَرْ فَمَتِّعُهُ قَلِيلًا, but they will all be provided for. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala corrected for Ibrahim the actual da'wah. As far as provision goes, it's not just for them, it's for the other ones as well. It is for all. There's an athar, it's one of the Israeliyat, it's a very, very beautiful one, that Ibrahim alayhi salam once, he would turn on fires at night when he was traveling in hope of someone finding him and coming and sharing a meal with him. So someone did, an elderly man in his 80s or 70s, and he came, this is the story, and Ibrahim alayhi salam offered him to eat. When he sat down and ate, he told him, say Bismillah, and the man said, I don't believe in God or your God, I believe in idols, or I don't believe in gods at all. So he said something very offensive to Ibrahim alayhi salam regarding his religion. He talked to him for a few minutes, there was nothing. He told him, Wallahi la tujalisni wa la tu'akiluni ala ma'idati abna al-qum. You're not going to eat with me. Get up, go. What is this you're saying? Aib alayk. You shouldn't be saying these things about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Get up and leave. So the man got up and he left. فناداه الله سبحانه وتعالى sent him. قال يا إبراهيم أصبر عليه 70 عاما أرزقه وهو مدبر عني أفشقت عليك لقمة تطعمه إياها. I've been feeding him for 70 years as he does this. You couldn't feed him for one night? You couldn't put something for him to eat? 70 years I've been feeding him and he doesn't listen to me and he cares not about me. And you couldn't feed him for a night. قال فنادى إبراهيم الرجل قال تعال عاتبني فيك ربي. Say, come, my Lord has chastised me for what I've done to you. قال وما ذاك, and how is that? What happened? He told me this. قال والله إن ذلك لربا يستحق أن يعبد لا إله إلا هو. If that's what he told you, then he is a Lord worthy of worship. لا إله إلا الله. He says subhanahu wa ta'ala, قل أئنكم لتكفرون بالذي خلق الأرض في يومين وتجعلون له أندادا ذلك رب العالمين وجعل فيها رواسي من فوقها وبارك فيها وقدر فيها أقواتها. See, indeed, you are disbelieving in the Lord that created the earth in 2 days. He is indeed the Lord of all worlds. And he put upon it mountains, and he put in it barakah, and then وَقَدَّرَ فِيهَا أَقْوَاتَهَا, and he destined within it all the provision for everything that will live. And he destined within it all the provision that will be available to all that will ever live. When you learn Bismillah Ar-Razzaq, this is what you have to walk out with today. That understanding, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, hadith Imam Muslim, he says in a long hadith talking about how the human being starts as a sperm and then turns into a small embryo and then to a fetus. And ثُمَّ يُبْعَثُ الْمَلَكُ يُرْسَلُ الْمَلَكُ إِلَيْهِ فَيَنْفُخُ فِيهِ الرُّوحِ, and then we send the angel to him and he blows Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's spirit into him. ثُمَّ يُكْتَبْ لَهُ أَرْبَعًا, and then there are 4 things that are predestined to him. One of them, rizquhu, and his rizq is, this is how much, this is the provision that is going to be laid out for him. الله الذي خلقكم ثم رزقكم ثم يميتكم ثم يحييكم. Indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who created you, and then He provided for you, and then He will take your lives, and then He'll resurrect you again. You see, between creating and dying, what is it? What's in the middle? Rizq. That's what's in the middle. That's it. Between you being created and then dying again and being resurrected, between those two things, there's nothing between death and resurrection, but between creation and death, there is rizq. A long story of it. A long story of rizq. And it's going to come to all of you. And all of it is going to come to you. He says, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, في الحديث الذي يرويه أبو نعيم في الحلية وحديث صحيح, قال إن روح القدس قد نفث في روعي أن نفسا لن تموت حتى تستكمل رزقها فاتقوا الله وأجملوا في الطلب. Ruh al-Qudus Jibreel has sent me an idea or a thought into my heart, telling me that there is no soul that will die before it takes its full provision. So have fearfulness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and seek your provision elegantly. In the Quran, we find 4 trends regarding Ar-Razzaq or Rizq. There are 4 trends in the Quran that you can trace when you're looking at the concept. The first one is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives not what you want, but what He wants or what you need. He does not give you what you ask for, the amount that you want. However, He gives what you need or what He wants to give you. إِنَّ رَبَّكَ يَبْسُطُ الرِّزْقَ لِمَنْ يَشَاءُ وَيَقْدِرُ. Indeed, your Lord will make the provision that He gives you in abundance. يَبْسُط, He gives more than you need. وَيَقْدِرُ, He gives less. He gives less amounts. إِنَّهُ كَانَ بِعِبَادِهِ خَبِيرًا بَصِيرًا. You'll find these names attached to rizq everywhere in the Quran. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He knows. He sees what you need, and He knows in deep inside of you what it is that what you actually need today. Because what we need is different than what we want. That's what we learn from Ramadan anyway. You'll find in the time, Allahu yabsutu ar-rizqa liman yasha'u wa yaqdir. Qul inna rabbi yabsutu ar-rizqa liman yasha'u min ibadihi wa yaqdiru lah. You'll find it many, many times in the Quran. He will give in abundance, more than you need, and then He'll give less. It's not based on what you want. That's the first one. Second one, you will find that rizq is always associated with shukr in the Quran, with showing gratitude. Ya ayyuhal ladhina amanu, kulu min tayyibati ma razaqnakum. Eat, O those who believe, from the tayyibat, the provision that is halal for you to eat, from what we have offered you, provided for you. وَاشْكُرُوا لِلَّهِ إِن كُنْتُمْ إِيَّاهُ تَعْبُدُونَ. And show gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if it's He whom you worship. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ تَعْبُدُونَ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ لَا يَمْلِكُونَ لَكُمْ رِزْقًا. Those whom you associate with Allah, they don't own rizq for you. فَابْتَغُوا عِنْدَ اللَّهِ الرِّزْقِ. Ask for rizq from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَاعْبُدُوهُ وَاشْكُرُوا لَهُ إِلَيْهِ تُرْجَعُونَ. Worship Him and show gratitude. The third trend we find in the Quran regarding rizq is infaq. When the rizq comes, that you spread it out, that you make sure that you're offering amounts of it to others as well. Ya ayyuhal ladhina amanu anfiqu mimma razaqnakum min qabli an ya'tiya yawmun la bay'un fihi wa la khullatun wa la shafa'a. All those who believe, anfiqu, spend from the rizq that we provide you before a day comes where nothing will help you besides what you spent. Nothing else will be there for you. وَقُلْ لِعِبَادِيَ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا يُقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَيُنْفِقُوا مِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ. And tell those servants of mine who believe in me to perform prayer properly and to do infaq and to spend from the rizq that we provide for them. The fourth trend that you find in the Quran is hatmiyatul rizq. That is definite. The definiteness of provision. وَفِي السَّمَاءِ رِزْقُكُمْ وَمَا تُوعَدُونَ. And indeed, your rizq or provision exists in the sky, meaning it's in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's hand. وَمَا تُوعَدُونَ, this is what you're being promised with. Yuhka, one of the athar, there's maybe lack of authenticity to a certain extent, that an Arabi heard this ayah. فَقَالَ الْحَمْدُ لِلَّهِ. When he heard وَفِي السَّمَاءِ رِزْقُكُمْ وَمَا تُوعَدُونَ, he said, Alhamdulillah. Good news, finally. My rizq is in the hands of someone better than me. And then he hears the continuation. فَوَرَبِّ السَّمَاءِ وَالْأَرْضِ. And I swear to you, by the Lord of the skies and the earth, إِنَّهُ لَحَقٍّ. Indeed, what we're telling you is the truth. مِثْلَ مَا أَنَّكُمْ تَنْطِقُونَ. Just like you are sure of the fact that you can speak and others can speak, this is going to happen. فَقَالَ الْأَعْرَابِيُّ مَنْ أَحَاجَ اللَّهَ إِلَى الْقَسَمِ. Which of you pushed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make an oath? What have you done? What have you done that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is swearing that this is the truth, that the rizq is predestined for you? What did you do? Man minkum lam yusaddiq. Which of you did not believe in this? Subhanallah. In the universe, when we look at it, have you ever watched the salmon rush or run, or the sardines? The sardines start in Scandinavian countries, in Finland. And they make a journey that is nothing less than spectacular, making their ways to the eastern coasts of South America. On their way, they feed over 2,500 different species. And they make this trip every single year. The salmon have been making their trip from Africa up to Northern American eastern coasts for the last at least 200,000 years. They feed over 3,000 different species. You can watch it. You can go today on online and look. There's a documentary called Earth or Life. I can't remember what it is. And just look up the salmon rush and watch and sabbih rabbak and learn the name of Allah Ar-Razzaq. Everything is being provided for. Everything. وَمَنْ لَسْتُمْ لَهُ بِرَازِقِينَ وَجَعَلْنَا لَكُمْ فِيهَا مَعَايِشْ. And we put provision for you in this earth. وَمَنْ لَسْتُمْ لَهُ بِرَازِقِينَ. And you put provision for those whom you are not responsible for providing provision for. We did not ask you to provide provision for everyone. We provided it for them long before you came. Just don't mess it up. Just don't ruin it. Just don't change the globe's temperature to the point where the salmon will not rush anymore. And then the species on the way will all die because we messed with their provision. I want you to think of the following. Right now there's a drop of water somewhere in the Pacific Ocean. The sun in a few days will shine on that drop of water and it will evaporate into the sky. As it evaporates, it still has your name on it. And it turns into a cloud. And the wind will move this cloud for thousands of kilometers, somewhere into Europe, and it'll rain down. As it rains down, it has your name on it. It hits the ground and it goes into the earth. It comes into a spring a few months later. And some company takes and bottles it all up. It's sitting in a bottle with your name on it. Just one drop of water. And then it's shipped to a different country. And it falls into the hand of your friend. And he takes it and he opens it up and he drinks. But he doesn't drink the drop of water that your name is on it. He closes it, he meets you. You're thirsty, you say, can I have a sip? And you take it and you drink the drop of water that has your name on it. And everything that you eat and everything that you drink and everything that you take had your name on it long before you ever got it. Long before you ever got it. Subhanahu wa ta'ala has offered you his rizq and it will come to you. And it will come to you. Well, the question remains the following. Why do some people starve? Right? Why do some people starve? You see, they were offered rizq. But sometimes rizq is sent your way through others. Isn't that what zakah is? Zakah is not something that you do out of the kindness of your heart. No. This is the haqq, the right of poor people in the money that you carry with you. It's not your money to begin with. It's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's rizq. And you owe them. They own a certain percentage of that. If you choose to withhold what is rightfully theirs, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't starve them. You did. We did. When we withheld their haqq in the wealth that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in the rizq that He gave us subhanahu wa ta'ala to give to others. وَقَالَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أَنُطْعِمُوا مَنْ لَوْ يَشَاءُ اللَّهُ أَطْعَمَهُ. And the disbelievers told the believers, what, you want me to feed someone that Allah could have fed? He could have fed him if he wanted. Why do I have to feed him? This is what the disbeliever, the kuffar, say to the mu'min. Those who starve, it's not that there's not enough food. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has to hold someone accountable for misusing the rizq that they were offered. And we should all fear from that every day, every moment. We should fear from us holding on to rizq that is not rightfully ours. Because He gives us what is ours. And He gives us sometimes portions of others. And it's our job to move it on. How do you live with the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Ar-Razzaq? I'm going to give 6 points. I know this is but 6 points. Because it's a really important name. It's important that you walk out of here with this, with the right perspective. The first thing, do not fear. If you know He is Ar-Razzaq subhanahu wa ta'ala, then do not be afraid and do not worry. You do not worry because you know that He is Ar-Razzaq and this is something you believe in firmly. There's nothing to worry about. I will do my job to the best of my ability. Why would I worry? You stop being afraid. Well, it's a liberating feeling. The moment you stop being afraid about money. Right? If you're someone who's achieved that in life, you are less likely to be depressed, anxious, unhappy, and combative. And if you have not achieved that yet, then achieve it today. Do not fear and do not worry. Worry is a useless emotion. It does nothing. Number 2, be content. Be content. يقول صلى الله عليه وسلم لو كان لابن آدم واد من ذهب لتمنى أن له واديان ولو كان له واديان لقال 3 ولا يشبع ابن آدم إلا تراب. The human being has one, a valley of gold. He wants 2, he wants 3. There's no end to it in terms of rizq, and nothing will fill his mouth and forget. This is what the Prophet until except dirt when he's dead. The only thing that will finally shut him up in terms of what he always wants. Ibn Adam. يقول صلى الله عليه وسلم في حديث صحيح: من بات آمنا في سربه عنده قوت يومه كان حقا عليه أن يبيت عن الله راضيا. He who goes to sleep at night and he is not afraid to be killed that night, he's not fearing for his life, he has enough food in his fridge for the day that he's living in, like he had enough food for the day, then it is obligatory. There is no way that he can sleep that night not completely in content with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not completely satisfied with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Be content. Number 3, never humiliate yourself for rizq. Never humiliate yourself for rizq. Ever. Ever. Do not ever practice dhul because you want to get rizq from somewhere. Ever. It's something that you do not do as a Muslim, because He is the Ar-Razzaq subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you take nothing from what I just said today, if nothing of this is something you believe in or you're accepting, accept that. Just accept that. Do not humiliate yourself for rizq, because He is a Razzaq subhanahu wa ta'ala. When you ask for rizq, do it with pride, do it with dignity. I'm not saying be rude when you're going to an interview, because He is a Razzaq, but do not humiliate yourself. Don't change or compromise any of your fundamental principles or ethics because you want rizq, ever. Number 4, never taken haram. Never taken haram. He says, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, الرجل يطيل السفر أشعث أغبر. A man who has been traveling for a long time is, when you look at him, you can see he's traveling, he's full of dust and he hasn't cut his hair in a long time. يرفع يديه إلى السماء, he puts his hand up to the sky, يقول ربي يا ربي, and he calls upon Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah. And you look at him and you say, ما شاء الله, the khushu', the hudur, Ya Rabb. ومطعمه حرام ومشربه حرام وملبسه حرام. But the problem is he eats from haram and he drinks from haram and he dresses from haram. فأنى يستجاب له. How is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala going to listen to him and grant him what he wants? Never taken haram. Never taken haram. Number 5, sa'i. We were commanded to perform sa'i, to get rizq. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will offer you rizq, but He's not going to break the laws of the universe that He created. He put laws here in this universe. These aren't against His will. These are His laws subhanahu wa ta'ala. The law dictates, if you work harder and if you do your job better, you will make more. That law is not a law of nature. Well, it is a law of nature, but it's a law that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put in nature. This is His law subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't ask Him to break His law every single time for you. That is very arrogant for me to continuously expect Him to break all the laws for me. I'm not going to work hard. Yes, I want a lot of money. I'm not good at what I do, yet I want to have more provision. Why? That's very arrogant of me. Why would I say that? He put the laws, follow the laws and do sa'i. Look at Surah Al-Nahl. Surah Al-Nahl talks about bees. It's called bees. وَأَوْحَى رَبُّكَ إِلَى النَّحْلِ أَنِ اتَّخِذِي مِنَ الْجِبَالِ بُيُوتًا وَمِنَ الشَّجَرِ وَمِمَّا يَعْرِشُونَ ثُمَّ كُلِي مِنْ كُلِّ الثَّمَرَاتِ فَاسْلُكِي سُبُلَ رَبِّكِ ذُلُلًا. He told the bees to live in the mountains and to go to the trees and to find and to use every track possible to take the pollen from the flowers and create honey. They have to move, they have to go, they have to organize themselves, they have to work all the time. And then at the end of those ayat on the same page, go back to Surah Al-Nahl, read it. وَاللَّهُ فَضَّلَ بَعْضَكُمْ عَلَى بَعْضٍ فِي الرِّزْقِ. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has preferred some of you with rizq over others. Some of you will make more than others. Some of you will work harder than others. But you'll be content no matter what you get, no matter how hard you work, is the point of understanding. The final point, the final way we live with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and this is the one we should do all the time. كُن بَابًا لِلرِّزْقِ. Be a door of rizq. I know be a door sounds weird in English, but the concept is, I think it's understood. Be a gateway of rizq for others. See, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not send rizq from the sky. Rizq will come to you, through the channels that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put here on this earth. Through businesses and through work and through employers. And that's how rizq is going to come. Be a door of rizq for someone else. Just like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grants you rizq. Right? Make sure that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses you to grant others rizq. And I'm not just talking about wealth. You see, I'll end with this story. Imam Malik had a friend, his name was Fudayl ibn Iyad, Abid al-Haramain. Abid al-Haramain, Fudayl, he was a known worshipper. He worshipped 6 months in Mecca and 6 months in Medina. Imam Malik is teacher of al-Madhhab al-Maliki. So Al-Fudayl sends him a letter telling Imam Malik that, if you were to dedicate yourself to ibadah more, that would be better for you, ya Malik. This is better. They were friends, so they would speak to each other openly. Yani you're teaching. When are you doing your prayer? When are you doing your qiyam? You should be doing more ibadah. So Imam Malik writes back a beautiful letter, very respectful. He says, Inna Allah, ya Fudayl, Inna Allah wazza'a al-arzaq. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has distributed different arzaq. فَمِنْهُمْ مَنْ حَبَّبَ إِلَيْهِمُ الْعِبَادَةِ. Some of them, they find themselves really doing it well or performing properly in worship. وَمِنْهُمْ مَنْ حَبَّبَ إِلَيْهِمُ الْعَطَاءِ. And some of them, they do well and they have a lot of wealth, so they spend it. وَمِنْهُمْ مَنْ حَبَّبَ إِلَيْهِمُ الْجِهَادِ. And some of them, they go and they fight for the sake of Allah. وَمِنْهُمْ مَنْ حَبَّبَ إِلَيْهِمُ الْعِلْمِ. And some of them, they were, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made beloved to them teaching. فَعْمَلْ يَا فُضَيْلِ. So do what you're good at. فَإِنِّي عَامِلْ. I'm doing what I'm good at. وَكُلٌّ مُيَسَّرٌ لِمَا خُلِقَ لَهُ. And we're all going to be eased into the rizq that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has offered us. 6 things. Never worry. Be content. Never humiliate yourself. Never touch haram. Work hard using the sunan that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put on this earth. We go and we do umrah and hajj. What do we do between the Safa and Marwa? What is it called? It's called sa'i. Why? Because Hajar had to do something. She was left in the desert with nothing. Nothing at all. Just a couple of days old baby. And she had no food. She's going to sit there? No, she has to do something. Even it may seem what she did was useless, but she still had to get up and do something. So she walked, looking, calling. That's the best she could do at that moment. That's the best she could do at that moment. And she did it. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala granted her water. And we go and we honor that concept, that mentality, that way of thought until this day. We walk back and forth thinking about how you're doing it. You're never permitted to sit around. You're never permitted to sit down and wait for things to happen, ever. And the final point is be a gateway of rizq for others in your life. I hope that was beneficial. Subhanakallah bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk wa sallallahu wa sallam wa barak ala Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in.